Chapter 3. Our democratic government. The term government refers to the method or system of governing body of a state or power to govern. Every country requires a government to make rules, enforce them, and ensure welfare of the people. A democratic government runs effectively when voters exercise their right to vote in large numbers. This indicates that they take interest in running the government through their representatives. In India, the participation of the voters is about 60%. Even in most of democratic countries, the participation is almost the same. Choosing the right representative to run the government properly is a great deal of responsibility. This process indicates the keen interest of people who wants to participate in running their own government. The elected representatives must be fully aware of the fact that they must work for the welfare of the people. They must also keep in view that people would not relate them if they do not work according to their promises. They are answerable for their actions. They cannot work as they please. There are checks on them to judge their performance. Just as the head and staff of the school is accountable to the management that appoints them, so the elected representatives and heads of departments in government are accountable to the people. Dharnas, rallies, strikes, signature campaigns, etc. are the ways in which people express their views and make governments realize their unjust or unfair actions. Newspapers, magazines, TV and now the Internet play a vital role in discussing government issues and responsibilities. If a country's people are alert and interested in how the country is run, the democratic character of the government of that country will be stronger. So the next time we see a rally marching through the streets of our cities and towns or villages, we should pause to find out what the rally is about, who is participating in it, and what they are protesting about. This will help to give us a sense of how our government works. Conflict on the functions of the government. Government has to take several decisions on various issues concerning people. There are several alternatives for making decisions. People who run the government may have different opinions on issues. Conflicts arise as to how to take decision. The government has to resolve the conflation opinions. A crisis may occur when people have different interests. For instance, a crisis can occur on account of making military training compulsory for all able-bodied persons. In such a situation, the personality of the leader plays an important role in finding out the correct answer and solving the crisis. Let's read about some of the conflicts in our society, and the role of the government in resolving them. Religious processions and celebrations can sometimes lead to conflicts. For example, the route a procession takes may lead to a conflict. The government, particularly the police, play an important role in getting representatives of concerned communities to meet and try arrive at a solution. At times there is fear that violence may erupt, with people throwing stones or trying to dispute the procession. The police is responsible for ensuring that violence does not take place. Rivers too can become a source of conflict between states. A river may, being in one state, flow through another and end in a third. The sharing of river water between different states that the river goes through is becoming an issue of conflict. In India, two states, Tamil Nadu and Karnataka, have been locked in a conflict over sharing of water to Kaveri for over last 30 years. Tamil Nadu would get water only if Karnataka releases it, and this is what leads to conflict. It has led to creation of a tribunal to see sharing of river water in these states. Concerns for equality and justice. At this stage, it is not necessary to go into the detailed definitions of equality and justice. The Constitution of India includes several measures that the objectives of equality and justice are achieved. For instance, all adults, irrespective of any factor, should be able to participate in the process of formation of a democratic government. All should be equal in the eyes of law. There should be freedom to vote and a complete for employment. There should be no caste or class distinction. Untouchability already stands abolished. Freedom of speech and worship should be available. in case a democratic government fails to show concern for equality and justice, it loses its significance. The earlier practice of untouchability is now banned by law. This group of people were denied education, transport of medical facilities and even the chance to offer prayers. Dr. Ambedkar, whom you have read about earlier in this book, and many others like him, realized that such practices must not continue and that justice can only be achieved when people are treated equally. The government also recognizes this and makes special provisions for groups within society that are unequal. For instance, in our society there is a general tendency to value and care for the boy more than the girl. That society does not value the girl and boy equally, and this is unjust. In this context, the government step in to promote justice by providing special provisions that can enable girls to overcome. Thus it is possible that fees for girls might be waived or lowered in government schools or colleges. The President of India is the head of the state. All actions of the Union government are done in his name. But he derives his authority from the Union Cabinet, which is composed of the elected representatives of the people. Democracy is characterized by the fact that the process of decision-making by the government is participative and not arbitrary.